Welcome to Menopause Monday. So today I'm sharing my top 10 tips to help you get started outright with the morning. Now, I think it's really, really important to have an effective morning routine. The one I'm going to suggest to you today, there'll be things that resonate with you, things that don't really sort of fit with you, and that's entirely your call as to which ones you use. But I find I use all of these, and I find it sets my day up for success. They don't take long to do, but I think when you start the day on a positive note and you start it with some forward momentum, it makes a massive difference as to how that day actually pans out. So first and foremost, a morning routine starts the night before, and that includes prioritizing your sleep. So if you want my Healthy Sleeping Habits ebook, just click the link below, or if you're watching this as on catch up on Instagram, click the link in the comments, go to free resources, and that'll give you my Healthy Sleeping Habits ebook. It's got some ninja tips to help you maximize your sleep. If you follow them, I promise you your sleep is going to improve significantly. Obviously, through menopause, we are afflicted with random anxiety, hot flushes. Our sleep is just affected naturally because of our dropping estrogen, which has an effect on our other hormones. So it's really important that we do make time to prioritize our sleep and optimize the sleep that we have. So click that link and I'll get that to you. One of the other things I suggest to you to do, it makes a massive difference to me, is to write out a list of your things that you need to get done the following day. If I'm awake at night, my brain immediately goes into, oh my God, I've got to do that. I must remember to do that. I've forgotten to do that. And oh, that's a really good idea. I must do that. And it just goes around and around and around. And actually, before I used to start to write a list before I went to bed, I actually used to get up eventually and I'd write some notes, and I could just get it out of my head onto paper, and it freed my brain up and I was able to go back to sleep again. Well, rather than having to wake up and write those notes, get those notes written the night before. There's something really productive about it too. It makes you feel like, yeah, I'm already organized, and it doesn't take long. It's like, sometimes it might just be 30 seconds. Sometimes it might be 2 minutes. Sometimes it might be 5 minutes. But while you're brushing your teeth, while you're having a wash, just literally have your pen and paper ready. And so when things come to your mind, you can scribble them down. And once they're on paper, they're out of your brain space, and you don't need to worry about them until the day after. So certainly consider doing something like keeping a list of things that you need to make sure that you need to get done. Also, just on that note, before you go to bed, if you take a bath before you go to bed, make sure it's not overly hot, but you can also add Epsom salts to it. And Epsom salts are very high in magnesium. Magnesium is one of those minerals that helps to calm us. So if you're one of those people who struggles with anxiety through the night, I know that's what used to get me in the earlier days. I'd wake up and randomly I'd just feel anxious. Well, Epsom salt baths are really, really beneficial at helping to soothe your frayed nerves. So consider going to bed on, having just had an Epsom salt bath. It does make a big, big difference. So now we're coming to the morning when you're waking up. So while you're stirring, while you're just becoming awake and you're thinking, the day's about to start, firstly, just take some deep breaths. Deep breathing, it's really good to detoxify the body, but also it's going to help to keep you feeling calm. When we wake up, we have a surge of cortisol. So our adrenal glands give off cortisol. It's designed to help us get out of bed. That's why working out in the morning is so beneficial, because you make good use of that cortisol. But if you are tending towards feelings of anxiety and just feeling jittery and just a bit unsure, deep breathing is going to help to settle you. So it's going to help counteract a little bit of that cortisol release that you get. You probably find that when you wake up, you get a hot flush or a series of hot flushes too. That's linked to cortisol. So just by deep breathing, and all you need to do is take, 3 long, slow, deep breaths, and try and breathe in slowly through your nose, hold it for a few seconds, fill up your lungs, and then breathe slowly out through your mouth, and repeat that 3 or 5 times. And you can be doing that just while you're beginning to wake up. You haven't done anything else yet. It's a really nice way to start the day. Next thing I suggest you do is just try and think of three different things every day that you can be grateful for. It's been scientifically proven that when we start the day with gratitude, it just sets us up for a more positive mindset, and mindset is absolutely key. Mindset is what makes us or breaks us. And when we're feeling more relaxed, first of all, we're organized because of our note taking the night before. Hopefully we've had a reasonable night's sleep. We're doing some deep breathing, so that's going to energize us, but at the same time relax us. It's going to fill our body with oxygen. It's going to help to detoxify us. It's very good for the lymphatic system too. And then after that, you're going to be taking time, just 3 things that you can be grateful for. And all you need to do is lie in bed. You don't even have to get up and write. Just like, I'm grateful for this and I'm grateful for that. And sometimes you might find it hard to find things to be grateful for if you're in a bit of a dark place, or if you're really worried about somebody, or you're struggling with grief or sadness or a heavy heart. But there are still things that we can be so grateful for, even if it's just how the leaves are looking pretty on the trees, something as simple as that. So it is proven to help set us up for success when we can approach the day with a gratitude mindset. Next, after that, now you're out of bed, get a pint or a large glass of warm water. I start the day with warm water with either the juice of half a lemon or a good glug of raw apple cider vinegar. They're both really good to help stimulate the digestive system. They're very good for our gut health, so our gut bacteria. Having a good balance of healthy gut bacteria has been linked to a happy mental state. So, and in people who have anxiety problems, who are struggling with depression, often when they look at the gut bacteria of those individuals, the gut bacteria is not in a healthy state. So gut bacteria is one of those things that I think on a daily basis, all of us need to be spending more time making sure we're promoting healthy gut bacteria. And apple cider vinegar or lemon juice are going to really help you. You want it warm because it just helps to stimulate the digestive system. If it's cold, it can be a bit of a shock to the system. And you in the morning, you want to be keeping it as calm as possible. So it doesn't need to be hot, it just needs to be tepid water, and ideally a glug of raw apple cider vinegar or the juice of half a lemon. And for those of you who might be thinking, yeah, if I get an acidic stomach, it's going to make it sting. It doesn't actually. In fact, like lemon juice, it becomes alkaline when it's on the inside of the body. So while vinegar might be a bit peaky, lemon juice shouldn't cause you a problem at all. And of course, you get all the added vitamins and minerals from that. Apple cider vinegar is very beneficial for gut bacteria. So if you've got a healthy gut and you're thinking, well, which one shall I take? I'm taking a lot of apple cider vinegar at the moment, more than the lemon juice, but both are equally good. So maybe alternate it if you want to have a bit of a variety. Next one is, and just on the water one, I say this in so many of my videos, but to know how much water you need to drink, you need to weigh yourself in pounds, divide that answer by 2. And in fluid ounces, that's the amount of water you should be aiming to drink. Remember that when we go through the menopause, all those hot flushes are going to make us sweat. And also, if you've been in bed for a long period of time and you're not waking up and you're not when I wake up during the night, I do tend to have some water, but a lot of us don't. So it's, you might have, your body might be dehydrated because you've not had anything to drink for sort of 5, 6, 7, 8 hours. And just on that sleep thing, some of us need more sleep than others. It's more important to have good quality sleep than it is to have duration of sleep. So get a feeling of what works best for you. If I sleep for a long period of time, I feel really dopey the next day. But also if I sleep badly, for not such a very long period of time and it's sporadic, then again, I feel dopey the next day. So I think I hit a sort of happy medium at about sort of 6.5 to 7 hours of good quality sleep. I haven't slept solidly. I can't remember the last time I actually had a solid night's sleep. But rather than looking at it as, I didn't sleep through again, that's sort of putting me into a negative mindset and it's creating stress around going to bed. It's about accepting that fact. And, it doesn't matter. The most important thing is then I can hopefully go back to sleep again once I've woken up. I might have had to go to the bathroom. I might be thirsty because I do drink a lot of water. My body's used to drinking a lot of water. I have my pets in my room and they're really noisy sometimes. So, there's a lot of reasons why I'm not getting a good night's sleep. But actually, I have to say they're not menopause. They're not menopause related symptoms. They're more furry friends or just needing, call of nature. So do make sure that you're drinking sufficient water, because that's also going to help you sleep better too. The next one I do religiously, I work out. Now I do take rest days. They're part and parcel of the workout calendar that I follow. I highly recommend, if you're not yet exercising, that you do. If you're new to exercise, even start an early morning walk, even in the dark or the early morning dawn, as we, approaching the autumnal and winter months. There's something so just calming but it's calming but rejuvenating about going for an early morning walk. I like to I either do a run or I do one of my strength training workouts. That is the schedule that I follow. It works really well for me. It keeps my bones strong, it keeps my muscles strong, it keeps me filled with energy. On days when I'm having a rest day or I've got a day off for whatever reason, I actually miss that buzz that I get from the workouts. They help us to gobble up stress hormones, but they also create give off endorphins, so feel good hormones. And that's really important when we're in such a hormonal flux with our menopausal symptoms. One moment you might be feeling quite happy, and the next you almost like have sudden rage that descends upon you for no apparent reason, or it could be an anxious moment again. By working out, you're helping to dampen down those extremes of those mood swings, as well as it gives you more energy, and it helps to detoxify the body, and we're supposed to move the body. So if you can get your workout done in the morning, I highly recommend it. Also makes good use of that cortisol that we have in the morning. Put it to good use. 20 to 30 minutes of either high intensity training or strength training, or a combination of. If you need any help getting started with a sort of healthy lifestyle, please just message me. I'm happy to share with you what I do, give you some tips and ideas. I'm not going to try and suggest that you follow necessarily the workouts that I do, but at least it might be an opportunity for you to say, well, I'm a bit stuck, and I'll be able to point you in the right direction with a little bit of luck. So feel free to message me. I'm more than happy to chat to you about that. Now, some people really benefit from a breakfast early in the morning, and others, it makes sense to wait a little while. There's a lot of people following intermittent fasting, and the jury is out during menopause whether you should do fasting at all or not, because fasting, it can raise our cortisol levels a little. But I know personally for me, I tend to follow like a sort of 16-hour fast with an 8-hour window for when I eat. It moves around a little bit. So I have a brunch at around about 11 o'clock, and that suits me really well. So I do my workout, and then once I've had my shower and I'm sort of getting myself organized for the day, that's normally when I then will have my breakfast. It's important when you are going through the menopause to include some healthy protein in your breakfast, and if you can, some vegetables as well. I also have adaptogen herbs that I take daily. I have prebiotics and probiotics. That's the word I was thinking of. Digestive enzymes, again, all geared towards my gut health. That's in a superfood shake that I have every day. If you struggle to eat breakfast, but you know you should eat breakfast, have a look at one of the high quality protein powders. If you want information on the one that I use, it's not just protein, it's got fiber, it's got the adaptogen herbs in. The adaptogens I take are maca, ashwagandha, cordyceps, astragalus, schisandra, reishi, maytake, and chaga. And they all do slightly different things, but predominantly they help balance hormones. They help us with our mental health. They help us manage our stress. They can help bring down cholesterol. They do all sorts of really intricate things in the body. I swear by mine. I normally have mine in sort of mid-afternoon. It just fits my routine well. But if you're somebody who likes to grab and go, then consider a superfood shake as your breakfast. Alternatively, my other ones that I have are, I sometimes have a bowl of oats with low sugar granola and with a dollop of Greek yogurt with live bacteria in it. If you don't eat dairy, try coconut yogurt. I also sprinkle a bit of my superfoods on top of that too. And I have fresh blueberries, which are really good for are just feel good hormones, and they're very high in fiber and antioxidants and that sort of thing. And then I have that with either oat milk or soya milk. And then sometimes I have I'll have like a 2-egg omelette. And in that, I pack a load of vegetables. But also, one thing you can just to bear in mind, there is an amino acid, one of the 9 essential amino acids. So we can only get it from our diet, and it's called tryptophan. And tryptophan is the precursor to serotonin, one of our feel-good hormones. So we actually need tryptophan in order to create that serotonin. It's one of those parts of the jigsaw puzzle. And foods such as dairy, poultry, fatty fish, seeds, nuts, dark chocolate, coriander, just tofu, various sort of soy-based products, they are high in tryptophan. So when I have an omelette, I love chili and I love coriander. So coriander is high in tryptophan. Eggs are high in tryptophan. Butter is high in tryptophan. I always make my omelette with butter, and then I add a load of vegetables. So I do I fry up some cherry tomatoes, I fry up some little bits of pepper, onions I always use, mushrooms I tend to eat a lot of as well. Spinach is also high in tryptophan. So and I literally, and green beans, I pack it all into my omelette, and it keeps me going for ages. But it's ticking a lot of boxes. So it's high in fiber. It's high in antioxidants and phytonutrients because of all the vegetables in it. It's high in the tryptophan rich foods. And it just keeps me going for such a long period of time. It's really tasty. And I normally have one of those once or twice a week. Again, obviously, if you can't eat eggs, then you need to have a look at something else. And also bear in mind, some of us have an intolerance or a sensitivity to the nightshade family. Now, nightshade fruits and vegetables are things like tomatoes, peppers, potatoes. And so if you've got that sensitivity, you're going to need to err on the side of things like mushrooms and spinach, and maybe incorporating some more green vegetables into your omelette if you are sensitive to the nightshade family. So just to be aware of that. But yeah, try and be conscientious about the amount of tryptophan that you're ingesting, that you're eating, because it will help with your mood. It's also very good for our heart health. Also, another thing I just wanted to also mention is blackstrap molasses, unsulfured blackstrap molasses. Now, it's a healthy form of sugar-ish. It is going to raise your blood sugar a little bit, but it's also very high in magnesium and potassium and iron and calcium, which are minerals that we tend to be slightly deficient of as we go through the menopause. So if you have like a coffee in the morning, or if you have like the oats and the Greek yogurt and that sort of thing, you could add some blackstrap molasses to that. And that is actually going to boost the minerals that tend to be low as we go through the menopause. So that's just a little tip as well. But of course, when if you get hold of a really good superfood sort of shake or smoothie combination, the chances are it's going to be ticking those boxes as well. So but I just wanted to mention blackstrap molasses because it is quite a helpful thing to have, and I know quite a few ladies who are menopausal who take it, and they absolutely swear by it. It also helps them to sleep better because it's high in magnesium, so just to bear that in mind. I also have a glass of kombucha. It is a fermented drink. It's one I make at home, and highly recommend making your own at home. Yes, it does take a tiny bit of time. The first time you make it is a little bit confusing, just because it's just like, you have to follow the instructions, and but it was well worth spending a bit of time just learning how to do it. And now I make kombucha all the time, and it's so good for our gut health, which is good for our mental health. It costs me next to nothing. You make kombucha essentially from like a starter liquid, which I actually bought from Amazon, and a SCOBY, which is like the healthy bacterial sort of cork, as it were, sort of pad, and then sweet tea, and that's it. And it ferments for about 10 or 11 days. Then I add some fruits and flavors to mine. I let it ferment for another 3 or 4 days. It becomes slightly effervescent, and then I bottle it up. I strain it and bottle it up, and it is absolutely delicious. Some of my favorite recipes are lemon and cardamom, lemon and lime, cherries and lime. Banana goes really well with kombucha. So if you're looking at, if you really want to take it to the next level, and you really want to get on top of your you're promoting healthy gut bacteria, making your own kombucha. It's super simple. It costs next to nothing, and it's going to have some really good benefits for you. The other thing I think is a really useful thing to do is to ask. So you're having your breakfast, you've done your bit, so you've got your shower, you've done your workout, hopefully you've had your water, you've hopefully slept well. What one thing do you want to achieve in your day? I think we are all guilty of having endless to-do lists, which is fine because there are always lots of little things that we need to do. But what is one key activity that you can commit to on a daily basis that you probably stick to the top of your list? It's probably something that's going to make you feel uncomfortable. There's a great book by Brian Tracy called Eat That Frog. And essentially, it's about getting the worst chore or the most important but worst chore done first. That might be, arranging that review with your boss, or challenging something with your superior, or doing your taxes. It's something that you don't want to do, or looking at your bank statement and working out how you're going to move forward in the next few months. Things like that. When you just put the one on your to-do list as the most important thing and you get it done, it gives you a really big sense of achievement. It's almost like you've won the day already. And when you have got that horrible thing out of the way, it has an effect of just giving you more confidence to be more productive, because you're feeling happier, you're more relieved. It's removed the sort of energy and the fuzz from your head. It's a bit like working in a messy environment. Right now, my environment is just chaotic, and it was really annoying me. I keep looking at it thinking, oh, it's so messy. Why don't I just immediately clear it up? And then I'm not thinking, it's so messy, because every time I think, it's so messy, it's wasting energy. And the same goes for those big things. So get them off your list. It will free up a lot of mental energy for you. You can whoop, whoop, I've done it. And it will have a more positive impact on the remainder of your day. And then just my last one, my 10th tip, coffee. Now, I made this random discovery a while back that when I cut caffeine out, the pains that I was getting in my joints was significantly reduced. And I drink a coffee alternative. It's a herbal drink called Teeccino, Teeccino. You can get it online. I use iherb.com. It's the best value Teeccino I've found around. My favorite flavor is Java. There are several different flavors. Mocha is also quite nice. But I have that first thing in the morning when I wake up. I have my water and then I have my Teeccino. Sometimes I do save a coffee until about 11 or 12 o'clock as my treat. And the reason I'm saying to delay it, if you like your caffeine, is because in the morning we have that natural burst of cortisol. So you essentially, especially if you're menopausal and you're feeling anxious, what you don't want to be doing is overstimulating your adrenal system. And by having caffeine, you're doing that. It also can dehydrate you. Tea can also dehydrate you. So just be mindful that if you can push it back a couple of hours and have it a little bit later, you can then enjoy the caffeine when your natural cortisol levels are dropping off, and you could use it as a mid-morning treat. Maybe have it as a reward once you've got that big chore off your list and you've done it. So it's just like, yes, pour yourself a coffee and then get on with the rest of the day. So those are my 10 top tips. I hope you found them helpful. If you found this video useful, please, feel free to share it with friends, give me a thumbs up. And if you want to make sure you don't miss future episodes, hit the subscribe button, and send me, if you've got a particular aspect of menopause that you'd like me to cover, send me a message and I'll make sure to include that in my list. So thank you for joining me, and make it an epic week.